Let's look at creating a peer review assignment using the Turnitin functions of Schoology and the Turnitin.com website. So notice here's a course that I've got, and I've got several assignments here, and I can go into Turnitin by clicking right here, and now I can see all of the assignments that have been associated with this course. So, and I could look at, let's say, get me a template, and here are all the students who turned in a template. And if I wanted to look at, let's say, this one, I can see that the similarity was 0, so it was an original one. I can go in and look at the report. And if I go back to Schoology here, I could grade it, give it a comment, do all those things. Okay, so now we're going to run back here. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say this one here. And you can see it just takes a minute sometimes. And remember, sometimes the Turnitin does take a little bit of time to come up with the reports. You won't see those right away. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and refresh that screen. And let's look at this again. I'll try another one maybe. So here we go. We can see some of these. So let's say I wanted, though, to have, I'd done a writing assignment or something, and I wanted to go ahead and have the students look at each other's work before they do their final version. So maybe I've done a first draft on a research paper, and now I want to have the students in the class look at, maybe read 2 papers from the class. And wouldn't it be nice if I had a tool that would randomly give the students 2 papers to look at and attach some questions that they could be looking for? For instance, is there a good thesis statement? Is the conclusion supported? Maybe I want to do things on a scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. How strongly did they support their arguments? Things like that. So, and I can do that using Turnitin. Now, what it does require is going into the Turnitin.com site. So we're going to log into the Turnitin.com site, and I'm going to use my @student. Spell my name right. @student account. So and log in, and now I can see I'm in as a student. I want to go in as an instructor, so I'm going to make sure I change that. And here's the course that I have, and I'm going to click on that, and I should see all of my assignments here. And here's that template one. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new assignment, and I'm going to make this a peer mark assignment. I'm going to click here. Notice you could see a demo of that. I'm going to select the assignment that I want to have it distribute. I can give it an award. I can say if they do this assignment, just give them, as long as they turn it in, give them full points, or I can grade it as appropriate. If it doesn't look like they did a good job, that they didn't really read, that they didn't answer responsibly, I might not want to give them full points. So sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I can go in here and look at some more options. I'm going to give it so I'm going to say it's template peer assignment, and I will say review 2 of your classmates' I can either block the names so they don't know, so it's anonymous, or I can, by not checking that, if I check this, it allows them to see the names. Otherwise, it's anonymous. Then allow students without a paper to review. So let's say a student didn't turn theirs in, You still may want to let them review papers. You may not. If they haven't done it yet, you might not want them reading other people's papers, something like that. So I can set the dates when I want this to start. And now I'll save and continue. And so each student can right now the default is to do one paper. So I wanted them to do two. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that and say I want them to do two. I don't want them to select it. You could also have them answer those questions for their own paper if you wanted. That's not a bad idea. And so I can look at distribution options. I could pair particular students. So let's say you're doing some differentiation and you want a couple of kids who were doing maybe something else, an alternative project, to do each other's papers. You can specifically pair students. So I can browse for the students. Notice there's all the students who've turned them in, and I can say, oh, they're going to review that person, something like that. Or I can exclude students if I want by clicking over here if I wanted to do that. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have it do its random. So right now, the way it's said, it will randomly distribute two papers to the student. So now I can save and continue. And now here's I can add questions. So these are what the students are going to do. So there could be a free response question. I can say a minimum answer length if I wanted. I can go to a scale question. Let's go. So the scale can be up to 5. So there's the question. So if I were to say 5, then notice a 1 to 5. Or I can choose some questions that already exist in this library. So here's a sample of questions. So does the paper, let's go ahead and add that question. Notice it brings it down here. I can then edit that question if I want. I'm just going to add a few questions here randomly. So let's say we only want them to do those 3 questions. So again, there's this why or why not explained. So these are asking for short answer kinds of things. But again, I could also do a scale question as well. So I'm set. I can save this to my library, and I could call this, let's say, template peer. And that way, if I want to use this again, it'll be there for me. So I could select that from the library. So I'm going to save and finish. And now that assignment, when the students log in to Turnitin, they will notice here, I now have this peer mark assignment under the give me a template. So no students have done it yet. And I can go ahead and if I need to go back and edit that, I can go back in and edit those settings. Maybe I want to change something, change the due date, something like that. And that's how easy it is. Now the students will have to go into Turnitin to then see this assignment. That's not going to automatically show up in Turnitin. So if I go back to that course, I believe this is it. Notice there's no new assignments in here. So, but you would be able to see it in Turnitin. So the students will have to go to 2 different places for this, but I think it's a pretty good solution. Thanks a lot.